Welcome to HirewithEve.ai podcast. HirewithEve.ai is an AI tool to pre-screen candidates and accurately identify their skills to help you cut down your hiring time by 90%. In this podcast series, we interview and have in-depth conversations with global HR leaders across industries and geographies to understand current HR trends, leadership challenges, workforce plannings, and many more interesting topics. So with that, let's dive into today's conversation. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of HirewithEve.ai podcast. I'm Rahul Abhisek, founder of HirewithEve, an AI tool that helps HR reduce hiring time by 90%. We have here Niharica Singh as our guest today. Niharica is currently the Assistant Vice President of Human Resource at Infosys, where she has been for the last 14 plus years and has had various senior leadership roles, ranging from senior principal for compensation and benefits, senior principal for organizational development, and senior lead for HR strategy and transformation. So, welcome, Niharika, to today's podcast. It would be great for our listeners if you could also yourself introduce yourself and tell us a bit about you and your career.
Okay, so hello and thanks for the opportunity. I have been with Infosys, like you said, for 14 years, and I have an overall experience of 17 years. In my 14 years in Infosys, I've worked across different corporate roles, and like a business partner HR role is the only thing that I've not done, but touched on all the other corporate roles, which includes like I started with HR analytics, a lot of initial work in way in back when HR analytics was just getting, was very new, and that's when I entered here, and all the base work of HR analytics is what was done and set up. Uh, the I managed the change for shared services setup, which happened for HR delivery, because at that point I was handling this HR strategy and transformation, so a lot of change management projects and setting up newer teams. Organization development is another big role that I've handled. I've handled as part of organization development also leadership assessments. Which is actually a different unit in Infosys, but I just worked on it for 50% of my time. And then compensation and benefits is the new role that I'm handling. Prior to Infosys, I've had an analytics experience, and that is something. I mean, I really love. Love working with numbers, and every part of work that I do in HR has a lot to do with numbers as well.
Thank you for that, Niharika, and that's a very long and impressive career. So one of our opening questions is on a lighter note and an interesting question, so to say. So we believe that are the superpower of the organization. So I'm looking for your perspective on what are some of the key strengths that an HR personnel brings to the organization, and at the same time, what is the kryptonite or slash, let's say, weaknesses that the particular domain has.
Yeah. No, HR does have a superpower. I mean, they especially in a technology industry, if you see, because people are a main asset, and as in they are a main cost, they are a main asset, and how you manage these assets, both in terms of keeping them engaged and retained, and managing cost, impacts business a lot. There's a direct impact of HR role on business in the bottom line and the top line both, in the current scenario. And so I feel HR does play a very, very critical role. The 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 strength of HR here is the most, as most HRs, they have like good, they are supposed to have good communication skills, ability to understand the business more, so they need to use that skill of theirs in understanding what is the business requirement, and then tying up with the employee requirements to come up with proposals which are more holistic. And this is both what I say is what is lacking in a lot of HR professionals these days, and also something which is their strength. So I feel HR is at a place where they understand, where they know the business very well, and they also understand employee needs very well. But uh, I mean, if they start going taking that approach that I just want money for my employees, and the business is not giving me money, or finance is not approving, that kind of a mindset would not help. A mindset which is more collaborative and working with the business in a way that we work out proposals, or models which are more self-funded, because wherever HR invests money has a long-term positive business results. It's an ability to show business that, and carve out your strategies in that way. So I feel, yeah, so it depends on how you use it. Use your superpower.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And then, with that basically definition of an HR's role within the organization, what would be your vision for driving business growth? Uh, yeah,
So this, like I initially also, technology industry is going through a changes. We had experienced a very good growth a few years back, but what we are seeing now, that the growth has come down, whereas attrition is still there. I mean, attrition is not like very, it went down after the great resignation, but still fairly high. So there is a need to retain talent. They retain the best talent that you have, and also manage, optimize cost. And when I say optimize cost, it's not optimize cost by cutting down or anything, because that kind of an approach I don't think will work, and I don't think it's right for from the HR has to get innovative to come up with areas where they help the business optimize cost, but in a way that the interests of employees is there. Like, for example, creating more opportunities for internal talent, and making them move to niche jobs, rather than hiring from market for those niche jobs which come at more than 50% of a premium, and in some cases we see they come at a 90% premium. So why not give those opportunities to internal talent, and invest the money in development, their
yeah.
skill development, and encouraging them to take up those positions, making internal jobs more lucrative, making internal reskilling and development more lucrative. And and I've seen in my experience in Comp and Ben that when you work with finance or senior leadership on proposals, on things like that, where ultimately you are able to save something for the company, and you're also investing in your employees in the right way, everyone is willing to invest in that amount. So I think HR needs to have that mindset, that of like a business mindset, that I'm investing in the talent, and there's an ROI, and talking to the business in that language, that you would get returns by investing on these assets, rather than, like, having a more thing on, my employees need it, or they will quit otherwise, that kind of a that kind of an approach.
Okay, okay, okay. So you were just talking about there was this trend of the great employee resignation, but in general, what kind of trends that you have seen in the recent times in your role?
So, I think the major trend that is continuing is a half cycle of skills, in which, I mean, like long a few some a decade back maybe, the life cycle of skill was still longer. Now, the pace at which the skills are getting obsolete and new skills are coming up in the market is really fast, and with that, you need to scale up talent development. You need to bring up a lot of infrastructure. You need to invest in, like, the training infrastructure, development infrastructure, the deployment infrastructure, to make sure, as and when people get trained, they get deployed. Because even the requirement of skills is like a comb shaped skill. Like, even people are required to have multiple specialists in multiple domains. So that is one challenge of HR: how to cope up with the reskilling and development, and how the technology infrastructure is constantly is changing so fast. Next, I would say is related to that is the AI uh, wave that is there, and and AI is more. It was earlier like a skill that was required, a niche skill, but
Yeah.
it's now become horizontal. Everyone needs to be trained in AI, and that includes even HR professionals. Everyone have to be, and it's something that we just can't ignore. It will be there. So, uh, I mean, and then with AI, obviously there would be some jobs that go away, but those how to ensure that those people are able to scale up and take up newer jobs. There's no fear of AI that is there because it's only cutting down more operational work. There's work still there for everyone, and we need to use our internal talent for that. So that's one big challenge for HR. Another thing that continues is like managing employee experience with like flexible benefits. There's a shift in generation, and people want more personalized, flexible benefits, and there's a focus on employee experience. They want uh, so you need to make like you need to really like make moments count. You need to invest in the right moments, understand what is a persona of different employees, what are the moments that matter for different set of population, and make that moment really memorable.
Yeah.
That's the thing of employee experience coupled with really being innovative on flexible benefits. So benefits is not the same. Benefits is not something that everyone wants. There is at different stage of life you want different kind of like wellness benefits or health benefits, flexibility benefits, and the company needs to offer those to employees. So I think that's the next challenge that is there. So HR has to become like really innovative in coming up with these options.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and then there was an interesting point, and this is also a current trend of the whole AI and the half-life also that you mentioned earlier. How then do you take that into factor and account for it when you're hiring new talent, sometime fresh talent, sometime lateral hires? So how does that happen in this current half-life skill situation?
Mhm. Yeah, so while hiring for talent, we look we have there is evaluation, and there's a panel evaluation. We look at hacker rank ratings. That's more on a generic evaluation, as in that is kind of inbuilt in our recruitment process. But what we also ensure that once, because we have a very strong training infrastructure which we are like very proud of, and we also at times think of we are okay, and cost management is also important for IT services company, because we need to control our margin. So we may hire people in adjacent skills, and we are confident that we will be able to train them
Okay.
in AI kind of infrastructure. We have a very strong learning ecosystem that is there. Everyone gets trained on AI internally. There are internal trainings. So that is one way we are ensuring that. And there are a lot of the central tracks on AI. So employees are also encouraged to come up with projects, innovation projects in their portfolio, and they are supported with whatever support they need, and they do their own work. So, and if they are able to come up with a prototype and monetize, they get rewarded for that. So we have those kind of internal ecosystem developed to build that skill. While at the time of hiring, because we do like a large scale hiring, though it would be one of the aspects that would be considered while in the panel interviews and etc. But there's no assessment as such that we have for AI separately at that stage.
Okay. And then if you could uh, uh, list or perhaps highlight just few uh, strategies that have worked when it comes to talent attraction and retention.
For talent attraction, I we I mean depends. Like our benefit package is one area which we look at for talent attraction, because we try to give, like, we are way ahead of in the market in terms of benefits which are more like on mental health and all of the other things on learning, etc. So that is one piece for talent attraction that we look at. We try to look at different sources um, um, of uh, of talent, like looking. I mean. Um, uh, is someone who is able to, I mean, they may not be from the best of colleges, but if they are able to clear the digital tests that we
Yeah.
have, and we try to take those kind of talent also into our space. So yeah, and so the Infosys always focuses on camp and more on campus and less reliance on lateral. And so the campus connect for us is extremely important, because we believe in building talent and not buying talent as such. So that is where most of the efforts go in building relationships with the client, hiring the best right when they are out of college. So with most colleges, and we have tiered approach of hiring, like we offer different compensation for folks who are able to clear higher more difficult assessments. There is a digital engineer role, there is a regular engineer role, and then we have like an excellent training facility to train them. So most of talent attraction is to ensure that, like, is on the campus hiring and having the best from the campus, and they continue hiring them right at the beginning. We don't hire anyone at like leadership roles, but very less, and fewer even at managerial roles also.
Okay. And then, since we've been talking about AI earlier in the conversation, where and how do you see the role of tech within the workflow of HR, and how you see also that evolving over your career that you've noticed?
Yeah, so I think AI has become like a part and parcel of HR now, and that is AI, tech, numbers. People need to be very comfortable with that. I know there was the time when people would say, "Oh, I want to do HR because I don't like numbers and I don't want to do finance," but I don't think that will work. Even basic things like Excel, everyone in HR needs to know how to work in Excel. But going with AI, if you look everywhere, if you start with recruitment, almost most of the things, there's so much scope of AI there. I mean,
Yeah.
right from like sourcing, like right from profile match, everywhere. That is a big use case of AI, and I think that it's important, and it's playing a crucial role as well in impacting business. Then um, there's so many predictive models, etc., that have been built to manage it, to see who will be more productive, or what kind of what whom to hire, which who then turns to be more productive, or of what kind of initial experience that employee has an impact on productivity as well as attrition. So which those are great insights which help in general HR management and workforce planning. The planning model itself, there is a scope of AI there. It can be totally automated, because planning is a huge part to say how much to hire, how much to promote, how much to get subcon, etc. So all those models are where which can be automated. As these are Excel-based models which are getting automated right now. And almost every company, I mean, the where this HR shared services, or that is a part where AI has it's completely immersed. I mean, like the query management. So if I look at some 12 years down the line, we were at a stage where we're looking at we were looking at processes which are more operational and trying to see if they can go to shared services and help desk, and they can manage it. But now the thing is that from there, things are moving to AI and chatbot. Most of the regular queries can be managed by chatbot. So we don't even need that kind of a support. So onboarding, etc., can be completely done by AI with like a virtual thing. So it has emerged in every space. Comp and Ben is another area where there is a lot of, because there is so much data there. There's a lot of work of how AI can help in budgeting, give us budgeting models, how
Yeah.
best to yeah, and also generally manage the comp models and data, and make us like, it will actually help a comp person sleep better at night, because in a way, to manage compliance and legal aspects, if things are manual and if things are handled by people, it's prone to errors.
Yeah.
So yeah, so AI is totally there for HR in almost every space that is there.
Yeah, those are some very interesting examples and also use cases. So Niharika, now we are coming to an end of our podcast. But before we do so, I have a final question for you, which is targeted more towards the young population, especially relevant for you because Infosys hires a lot of direct campus recruits. So what would be your advice for them, talking about the domain of HR, career within the HR, as an HR professional? How would you go? What would be your advice for them?
My first advice with them is that don't think of HR as as only like managing fun activities, or nothing to do with tech or numbers. You need to be, if you want to do well in HR, you have to be comfortable with numbers, with technology. You need to be comfortable with that. It's not like we're doing calculus here. It's nothing like that major mathematics that is required. It's a fear of technology that at times people have. That is one. It's important to be curious and connect with business and understand what is their business need. And when we say business, the business partnering HR is what is the requirement of next. That is not pleasing business. That is partnering with business and being seen as an equal partner in solving uh, their key business asks. So I think that is another ask. And what kind of relationship you develop with business, where you can partner with them to solve their strategies and their goals. The moment your strategies are aligned with their strategies, you will see both leadership and alignment, and whatever you want to be done being achieved. So that is another important role. Rest, I would say, be curious, be open to learning, be very strong at your HR fundamental models. Those are, when someone is in college, that's the time, when you're learning those things, it's important to have a very strong knowledge of that, because you will use it in your work at different stages in life. And different stages of work, and it will come handy. So that strong conceptual knowledge is important. It should not be ignored.
Okay. Okay. Those are some great advice, Niharika. So thank you so much for joining for today's episode, and we wish you the very best day ahead.
Thank you.